Hello, and welcome to Talk This Way. I'm Marcia Martin, your host, and today we're diving into a fascinating exploration of how our minds shape our reality. This episode is all about how results start from thinking. Have you ever wondered why certain patterns keep repeating in your life, or why some areas just never seem to change? Today we'll explore how the underlying assumptions and beliefs we hold, often formed in childhood, create invisible boundaries that influence our results. We're going to talk about how you can redefine your paradigms, change your thinking, and open yourself up to new, empowering possibilities. Together, we'll explore ideas from Einstein on how our thinking shapes reality, and I'll show you why real transformation starts with shifting our inner mindset. So if you're ready to step outside the mental box that's been holding you back and unlock new results in your life, this conversation is for you. Let's get started.
Here's what we're doing. Einstein says, he says it better than I do, but he's Einstein. He says all of your results come from or sourced by your thinking. So the results, outcomes you have in life start from the quality of thinking that you are, not the quality of thinking that you do. So who you are as a thinker is you have assumptions. I'm talking about the assumptions that you have in life. Now, how does a paradigm exist? A paradigm exists as the assumptions in the background. That's the easiest way that I can describe what a paradigm is. You are in a paradigm. And what that means is there are assumptions that you have taken on and agreed to and believe about how the world is and how it works and what it means, and they're in the background. You don't go up to someone, "Hi, Erica. First, let me explain the assumptions that I have in life. And this is how I think the world is, and this is how I think it works, and this is what I believe, etc." before you talk. Do you? No. You come up and you start talking, but you can't speak except from an assumption. The assumption is the context. That's the paradigm. It's the shape of the bowl. Language exists inside the bowl. Language comes after thinking and assumptions. You believe something and then it's possible for you to speak something. Language lives in the bowl. Assumptions create the space or the context of the bowl. Everybody with me? Yes. Try to stay awake here. I know, it's tough, isn't it? Concept. We're swimming through the mud. You know, you live in peace, and sometimes it's hard to get through. But clear days are on the other side. Your assumptions is what I mean when I say you're thinking. That's different than the thoughts you have, which is the thinking you do. Your assumptions are the thinking that you be. It's who you are as a thinker. It's not the little thoughts that go through your mind on a day-to-day basis. See the difference? Okay. Einstein says thinking creates results. All results come from the quality of thinking that you have, your assumptions. We call that a mindset. So he says, if you want to change a result, so think of these results. I said, consider a perspective that everything you have in your life right now, whatever the outcome is, my business is failing, my children don't love me, I'm in the middle of a divorce, I don't have enough money in the bank, I have lots of money in the bank, I have 16 successful businesses, I know 15 different languages, whatever your outcomes are, I said consider that what you have now was created by you. Do you remember when I said that? So what I'm saying is your thinking did that. Your assumptions, the kind of mindset that you operate from, produce those results. So now when people have results they don't like, then they say, well, what do I need to do? I need to change the result. And most people focus on the result itself. They try to change what they're doing. They try to add more to it, take something away from it, get better competency about it. Their focus is on the result. I am here to tell you that's the wrong focus. If you want a new result, what you must do is create a new way of thinking. And the new way of thinking will automatically create a new result. Make sense? So what this workshop is, and what my work is, and what you are in the process of, because I've been stirring the pot. You may think this is all set up still, but trust me, I am stirring the pot. There's a piece of you that's going, what the hell is going on? But I think that was right. Well, that doesn't sound, I'm going to, should I be upset? Should I be scared? There's a piece of you that's doing that, and it's going to get bigger. Okay? Because now we're going in to the war zone. And the war zone is here. From this thinking to this thinking. This is called a paradigm shift or a mindset change. That's the work I do in life. This is the work I'm turning over to you. You have to do it to yourself, and as you go through life, you'll do it to others. You'll have children, you'll have teams, you'll have friends, you'll have colleagues. If you want championship performance, what you're going to have to be adept at is having mindset change, paradigm shifts. Make sense? I want to be the first to tell you that your little mind that has these assumptions is not really excited to change to these assumptions. And you will resist. And resistance is the thing that keeps you in place and separate from the source of your well-being or your connection to source in the first place. You're resisting being able. You're resisting being healthy. You're resisting being wealthy. You're resisting being powerful because all of those are your birthright. And the only thing that we need is for you to allow it. Now, okay, we'll take that piece next. Everybody got this piece?
Yes.
Okay, you excited?
Yes.
Let me just explain this thing about context and language. If you lived in the day of Christopher Columbus one day said to the King of Spain, I'm going to go off and discover the New World. At that time in history, the belief system, the assumption, was that the earth was flat. Not only was it flat, it had a big drop-off. And not only was the drop-off huge and very long, down there at the bottom there was a big dragon that ate you. Okay? Now with that assumption, do you think any of Christopher Columbus's relatives brought him champagne to the boat? And said, bon voyage? Have a great trip? You see, those behaviors and language couldn't exist inside that assumption. Now we know the earth is round, and if you actually sail, you go around and come back and meet yourself. Right? And it's really fun to go around the world. And so I will bring you champagne and say bon voyage and be happy that you're taking off in a ship. So the language and behaviors, actions that you do, things that you say, can only exist in the space that is provided for them to exist in. And the assumptions create the space. The assumptions are like the bowl or the context, and the behaviors and the speech live inside of that. That means that you are in a box of your belief system. With me so far?
Yes.
It's gonna get worse.
Oh, yes.
Better.
Here's where your belief systems come from. How many of you have children? Little babies? Anybody? Hopefully you'll enjoy this. We were all a child once. You know the purpose of childhood?
You drive your parents crazy?
No, the purpose of childhood is so you have somebody to work on when you're an adult. You're just unraveling whatever it was you put together when you were a child, because here's how it works. You guys, when you're a child, you're a little munchkin. And you look up, and there's big people, and they're very important to you. They're like God. They know everything. You don't question the big people. You don't say, well, I'm not sure if that's the way I think about it. You say, yes, Mommy, yes, Daddy. Because they love you and you're protected by them and they're all that you have. They're your whole world and they must know. You come into that space. The main three inputs to you as a human being when you're small are what we say is your parents. What I mean by parents is whoever raised you, whoever was responsible for your protection and safety and to tell you how to be. It could have been an aunt, it could have been a grandmother, it could have been you have a big family, you have a little family, you were a single mom, a single father. We all have different inputs, but what I mean by parents could be any of those. Make sense? Teachers. Who are your mentors? Who are the people you look up to? Who are your teachers at school? Your piano teacher, your guitar teacher, your math teacher, your educators. Some of you had private schooling, some of you had public schooling. You had different ways, but that input, there are people in your life that you were taught to respect and learn from, and you were taught that they had the answer. And you were not taught to question, usually. There's only a few schools out there that go by inquiry and Socrates. Most go by rote, and you memorize something, you learn something, and you believe it. You don't question it. So that's what I mean by teachers. They could be a formal teacher, an informal teacher, but people that you looked up to tell you how to be successful in life. This is how to be as a person and a human being and to be safe and to live a good life. This is how to be successful in life and have the right education that you can know the right things. And priests. Now, priest doesn't mean it's a priest. It means whoever is responsible for your spiritual education. Yes, and there's somebody out there telling you how the world is and what it means. It's where you get the meaning of life. Some of you had Sunday school teachers. Some of you are Jewish and were taught different kinds of books. Some of you are Christian. Some of you are Buddhist. Some of you didn't have anything. You're kind of 157. Who knows? But there's someone that you looked up to from the time that you were little that had the answer to what it all meant. And you learned from them. It could have been a wise grandmother. It could have been a Sunday school teacher. It could have been an actual priest. I don't know. I'm just saying these are inputs. Okay, everybody clear on this? All right, so you get these inputs. And you're a little munchkin. Do you know how old you are in a Catholic church when you have your first confession? 7. 7, you learn to tell somebody you're a sinner. Now I could go through all of them. Whatever. I'm just saying, it's kind of a weird, wacky world, isn't it? Now, here I am, I'm a little babe, little munchkin, and my dad or my mom says to me, boys don't cry, suck it up. Take care of your women, they can't take care of themselves, they're very weak and fragile, you have to protect them, And don't ever cry and don't show your emotions. Got it? Okay. Now, it could be that you have a 2-year-old and he's been told that, shh, shh, stop crying. That the little kid says, you know, Dad, that doesn't really work for me. I can see it works for you. Well, I'm happy for you to have that assumption in life and carry on with that behavior. Go for it. I choose another way. That's not what happens, you guys. What happens when you're a small baby is you go, oh, I see. I got it. That's called agreement. I'm taking in an agreement and agreeing with it. I'm lining myself up behind it because the most important people in the world just told me it was so. Okay? And then the agreement becomes a belief. And then the belief becomes a justice system. Have you ever, in your adult age, known something not to be true anymore that you believed when you were younger? And have you ever still felt guilty every time you did what you thought you shouldn't have done when you were little? That's because there's this internal justice system that goes, whoa, this is bad. And we have to make it right. And we will by thinking of a reason that we just did that. We make up all sorts of reasons to ourselves. Well, the reason that I just told a lie is it's okay to tell a little lie because if you don't want to hurt anybody. Oh, I feel better. So all of this is going on. There's another piece of what's going on. Stephen.
Yes. Would you repeat the continuum from agreement, belief, justice system?
Justice system.
Justice system. Okay.
In other words, if you don't do what you believe, which came from an agreement from somebody that had their point of view, that you don't even know if they even understood anything. Think how crazy this is, you guys. How many people in the world? 7 billion. 7 billion. Do you know how big a number that is? 7 billion. You think you got the one mom and dad that had the right answer? Lucky you. It's illogical. It's somebody's opinion that got given to you and you bought it.
And most likely it was their parents' opinion.
Most likely.
Passed
Okay, here's the other piece of it as a child. When you're a child, you do not have the capacity to understand ownership till you get older. Ownership is something a child doesn't have as a concept. Because a child sees the world as all mine. There's nobody else's that's not mine. If you take a 2-year-old into a candy store, they're going to go grab a piece of candy if they want it. They're not going to say, can I have one and can you buy it for me? It's their candy. They see it, it's theirs. If it exists, it's theirs. How many people have children agree with me on that one? Here's what comes with that. If it's all mine, it's also all my fault. If it's all mine, it's also all my fault. Everything I see, I perceive as I made it that way, I did it. So if I see mommy and daddy fighting, it could be a simple argument. I have no capacity to separate my world from their world, and why they're fighting is because I'm to blame, and then I make a reason why I'm to blame, and usually it sounds like this. I'm not a good boy, I'm not a good girl, I'm not lovable. Nobody wants me. Nobody's going to like me. I have to take care of myself. Nobody's going to take care of me. If I do something, it's going to make somebody else unhappy. I'm not a good person. I'm not worthwhile. That's why it's happening. It's my fault. That's because of me. And then, on top of that, what I have to do is make a decision of how I have to operate to compensate for that. If nobody loves me, I better be a pleaser in life. I better learn to give and make sure that I have something that I'm doing that everybody will like me for, because I'm unlovable, because I just saw that happen and it's my fault. So now I make this belief up and I get this situation of I have to take care of everybody else. I have to do what everybody else wants. I have to, the only way I can get attention is if I'm bad. I have to do something negative in order to be loved. Oh, they gave me attention when I cried and then I got fed. Okay, I guess I'll throw a tantrum when I'm 20. Do you see, are you starting to see how this is like just a big ball of yarn that is tied so tightly? This weekend is about unraveling. I'm giving you what we're going into, okay? There's a hurricane coming. Are you ready for it? Put on your storm shoes. Then, after all that, what we do is we go through life with that perception of who we are and what we have to be and what we believe, and now we have to find evidence that our perception is right. And if we can't find evidence, we'll find a way to create it. If I can't find a situation that proves I'm unlovable, I will learn to operate to trigger people to get them not to love me so I can be right about not being loved. So now it's more than just I found evidence. Now I create situations. You want to know why your business is failing? Want to know why you don't have enough money in the bank? You want to know why you don't have a lover? You want to know why you're not happy? Because you're making some stupid belief system right. You're resisting your total well-being, which is connected, and your connection to Source that flows through you. Okay? This is exciting. Okay, any questions on any of that? Any comments? Any thought process? Any responses you want to share? Okay. Now, I'm 71 years old. And I gotta tell you, I just had a fucking major breakthrough over the last 3 years. That's a lot of years to get to the point where you go, I think I just got it. I'm probably gonna have another breakthrough, who knows? You know, you have to have a breakthrough, you have to have a breakdown before you can even have a breakthrough. The only way you have a breakthrough is a breakdown. People do not grow because they decide to grow. They grow out of crisis. They get so far down they can't stand it anymore, and the crisis itself, the breakdown, causes them to have to break through. Now, you don't need to use the crisis. You can just flow and break through. Some people actually do that. That's my intention with you guys by the end of this weekend. Okay, one more piece to put in about children. Ready? When you are born till around your 7 or so, your brain wave is different than it is now. So we have alpha, beta, theta, gamma. We have different levels of brain waves. Alpha is the highest level. It's where you operate now. It's when you're in a waking state. When you go lower than that, as you do in meditation, and when you go way lower than that, as you do in sleep, then different things become possible for you. Different things go in, get embedded, come in a different state. It's a different law. So if I hypnotized you, you all know about hypnosis, right? And you know that you could be hypnotized and we could give you a command, and then we could wake you up from your hypnotism and bring you back out here to this state, and you might do something that you didn't know why you're doing it, because you would have been hypnotized. All right? The level of brain wave that you're in when you're in hypnosis is the same level of brain wave that you're at when you're a child from birth till 7. Now I want you to put all this together. It's like we have these little munchkins running around hypnotized. In other words, they're taking things in at really deep states that are going to be embedded and then operate through them, against them, with them, later that they don't understand. They don't even know it. They're unconscious about it. You all have that from childhood. And while you're in that state, how you see the world is it's all mine and it's all my fault. And while you're in that state, you're making these decisions about what I need to do to be better. Since it's my fault, I'm not a good person. That's going in at that level of hypnosis. That's the issues we're working with. You're all crazy. And then you fight for your insanity. You fight for it. You, instead of coming up here and going, you know, Marcia, this is really good news. What you're saying is, we just wake up and get in touch with our well-being. We can have anything we want. Is that right? Yep. Oh, hallelujah. No, you come up and go, I don't think this is possible. I'm really poor because I'm really poor. I'm really unhappy because I'm really unhappy. I have evidence. Okay? Take it and run with it. Is it working? Now, here's what we come back to. I don't know what's true. I just know what works. I have no idea if it's true that these are the common values for championship. I just know if I consider them so and use them as if they are, it seems to work better than if I don't. So from results, I'm saying, might as well take that perspective. It seems to work better than taking a perspective that I'm at the effect. It seems to work better in life to produce results to take at a perspective that I have a choice and I'm creating it, than to take the perspective I'm at the effect and I'm the victim of my circumstance. Is it true? I have no idea. Just seems to work better.
It's true.
You know, it works better. It makes you happier. Are you happier since we've been working together? Amazing, isn't it? And did you fight for the old Kelsey? Yeah. She wanted me to believe that it was impossible for her to be amazing and beautiful and gorgeous like she is, right? You're happier.
Absolutely.
You're happier. It's the results. You're happier. Way happier, right? I've been through a few women with him.
Yeah.
And this one's a steal. This one's... Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Talk This Way. If you enjoyed the episode, follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And for access to training, courses, and other ways to learn from Marcia, visit marciamartin.com. That's MARCIA.